Hey, you guys, it's Life of Nikki Lee podcast. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're doing well and living your fullest every day. So, this is the third segment of my 7-year celibacy called Spiritual Warfare. All right. So, let's dive into that a little bit before I get off into the story. When you think about spiritual warfare, you think about basically everything coming at you out of nowhere and you feel like you're literally being attacked. Well, it's like that, but on a spiritual level. So the way I experience that, especially going into a long term of celibacy, I experienced some spiritual warfare. So one thing about it is the devil loves a comfortable Christian. He likes you to be lukewarm, not doing too much, just comfortable, right? You say a few Bible verses here and there, you go to church ever so often or barely, and you're just lukewarm. He likes that. However, when you start going against the grain, when you start buckling down in your prayers, when you start fasting and praying and doing all of the things, and you're becoming serious about strengthening your relationship with God, oh, honey, that he absolutely hates. And he will try to come after you in any kind of way. And that's why they say always stay prayed up, because he comes at you in ways you wouldn't even think about it. You're thinking about a guy with like the horns on his head and he's just going to just do something diabolical. Well, that's not the case every time. Sometimes he's very smooth and suave and he comes at you in a way that is desirable. He comes at you through something that looks very innocent, looks very nice. But on the other side of that, it's not nice, it's not innocent, and it damn sure isn't good. And that's what I experienced. It was a combination of things. So from the year of, I say, 2019 to about 2022, I was going through a lot. My sister, God rest her soul, she was, she had fallen ill and she passed away. And not just that, but like I said, this relationship, this long distance relationship that I had entertained, where I'm thinking I'm in a safe space with this person, like that man's mask fell completely off. One day he's doing something sweet, the next day he's completely diabolical. I mean, an asshole. And the crazy thing about that is God will always show you, even as you're going through the process, and he shows you why you need to pray, why you need to stay alert, why you need to be aware, because these things attack you and you're sitting there and you're trying to make sense of it all. But the only way to just truly ground yourself is to go to God and stay in prayer, because if you don't, problems will swallow you whole. And that's why a lot of people end up doing the craziest things, because they don't handle it the right way. They lean on their own understanding. They let their emotions get the best of them. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm just perfect, because, there were a couple of times when I was lashing out and I was angry and I was seeing the worst in myself, especially being with somebody who was abusive and constantly, like, this guy was emotionally and mentally abusive. And I'm thinking, well, thank God this is long distance, because if you and I were in close proximity, like, God only knows what would have happened. And then not only that, but every time I would just block, run away, here he comes and he's saying something hateful, or he's like, oh, I'm talking to this girl and you're not this and she's this. I mean, just one of the most hateful, narcissistic, abusive jackasses you can think of. And I'm like, during this time, not only am I going through stuff with living my own life, I had lost my sister, I'm trying to find my way through it all and, live a happy, productive life. And I just felt like, I said, you know what? This is nothing more than spiritual warfare. And I woke up and I started praying. I started praying, fasting and praying. And I was like, God, get me away from just anything that's not of you. And I just started cutting things off, shutting people out, shutting things down, and emotionally prepping myself to stay in prayer and stay away from things that were not from God. And the more I started isolating myself, because that is a part of it. Like when you are taking your spiritual lessons to another level, you have to isolate yourself because you have to focus and concentrate. And honey, when you do that, the breakthrough is real. So that is going to wrap up tonight's segment. Stay tuned for part 4. This is Nikki Lee signing out, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.